Hey friends, Bedros here with Jeff Sherman. Welcome to Coffee and Cocaine with Bedros and Jeff Sherman. Jeff, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Wonderful.
I'm glad we got through that. I was starting to sweat over here.
All right, we're good. We're off to a great start. Tori's laughing. All right, we're fantastic. Here we go.
Awesome. So we're just going to start with our week in review. So what is new in your life? What has been going on the last week?
What's been going on in my life in the last week? What's been going on in your life in the last week?
You know, the same old stuff. You know, surfing. You know.
All right. Now you've been surfing on a shortboard lately. When we started surfing, you were surfing on longboards. Now you've surpassed my magical surfing skills, and you're surfing on shortboards. And I heard that you had an experience, a whale sighting?
Oh yeah, that was like yesterday. I was,
Do tell.
Just got out of the water, waiting for Ahmed. You know, he was taking a while to come in. So I'm standing there just looking out, and all of a sudden, a whale, full breach, just like that.
Holy
Couldn't
cow.
believe it. It was like,
How far out?
Like 100 yards. So
Holy
like 50,
smokes.
I'd say like 50 to 70 yards past the lineup. Yeah, it was pretty
Where
cool.
at?
At Salt Creek.
Salt Creek. Okay, so that is north
About a mile
of
north.
Dana Point, right?
Yes.
Yeah. To that point, so all y'all know that we've been having a lot of sharks in Southern California because of the El Nino. The good news is we got plenty of water. I think we're done with the drought. Are we done with the drought?
Officially, yes.
We're officially done with the drought.
In the spring, we're done with the drought. We're probably back in a drought now.
We might be back in the drought now. But because of El Nino, the drought is over, but we have a lot of sharks. Apparently they're mating and they're not leaving. So last week, Tuesday maybe?
I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, last Tuesday. I'm at Dana Point with Chanta, with our friend Chanta, and we're just waiting for the sets of waves to start. And those of you that have been to Dana Point, Doheny, the surfing area there's like a jetty that goes out, right? And there's always people surfing off the jetty, and we saw this dude who had a fishing rod, and his rod was like bent in half. And so I said, Chanta, what do you think he caught? It's so big. He's like, oh, it's got to be a sea turtle for sure. And so all of us there's probably about 20 of us in the water just watching him, waiting for the sets of waves to start. And then I shit you not, a tail pops out, splashes around, and goes back in. That was no turtle. It was a 4.5-foot shark, a great white shark, just like that.
Nice.
And believe it or not, between his buddy hooking it from the mouth and him going down on the rocks and catching it by the tail, it was a juvenile 4.5-foot shark. And people asked, did you get out of the water? The answer was no, because the waves were good. Yeah.
All the surfers didn't even flinch, huh? They just
No
sat
one
there.
flinched. And I think all of us were like, you know what? The odds are not in our... The odds are against us, right? I mean, or not in our... We're not going to get bit by a shark, considering one just got the closest one, at least that we can tell.
All the
got
others
caught.
left after seeing their buddy get
Right.
caught.
And then I started wondering, like, are sharks like bears? Like, is there a mama shark who's really pissed off because the baby shark just got caught? And I had a little panic in me, but I played it off cool, and no one noticed.
No, I think we're good. I think they just drop their babies off and then go back out to sea.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hoping, anyway.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. Yeah. What else you got on your weekend review?
Well, I just got back from a family vacation to Zion National Park, which was really cool. And we did this hike. It was called the Narrows. You just like pretty much walking upstream. I didn't think Emily was old enough yet, but she said she wanted to do it, and she made it 7 miles
Holy smokes.
through like, it was like waist deep water for me. So some places like chest deep on her.
That's the water right there, right? That you guys walked through?
Yeah, well, it's like a slot canyon. So I don't know if you have any other images, but at one point it's like 16 feet from wall to wall, just canyons all the way up. And yeah, water all the way across.
Now how old is Emily?
She's 6. She'll be 7 in a couple months.
I mean, that's substantial. For those of you that don't have kids, like, imagine like at the age of 6 years old, not only hiking 7 miles, but
the current upstream.
Through the water upstream.
on slippery rocks.
She's like a human salmon.
She actually did better in the current than me, so I think it's because I'm so wide. I got a lot more pressure coming at me.
More surface area.
And she can just like,
Yeah.
you know, wasn't really getting pushed around too much.
Yeah. So I didn't go on any cool hikes like that. I've been buckled down recently and writing this book called Man Up. Yes,
Nice.
and just last week, and I'm not going to say which one of these might end up as the cover, but the publisher, Ben Bella, I've got a great publisher. They published the China Study, which was an amazing book. Sent me these 4 covers to look at and pick out for a cover design. The book's not going to come out until fall of 2018. I'm still about 25,000 words into a 60,000 word book.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been averaging 3,000 to 5,000 words a day. And I was telling you guys earlier yesterday, the family went out to color me mine, and I spent 6.5 hours typing, eating cashews, and drinking beer to just get into a numb state and focus on writing this book. But it's coming together nicely, and I think people are going to love it. Yeah.
So you have to do like Craig Valentine always says, and cut your deadline in half. And
if I do that, I should be done by 6 p.m. tonight.
there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. And over the weekend, so Jessica's working tomorrow, so we decided to do some 4th of July stuff over the weekend, and we found Ayala Park and thought it might be a good idea to go. Have you ever been on for the 4th or on the weekend of the 4th?
I have not. That's where Andrew plays soccer, but I haven't been there on the 4th.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be like a small little town thing, a couple hundred people. When we got close, it took us almost an hour to park and to find parking.
Smokes.
All the, you know where your new building is?
Yeah.
Every single parking space is taken, and all the way down for like a mile. It's probably, I'd say, like 10,000 people there.
Holy shit. Did they do fireworks show?
For the fireworks show, yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And they shot them off, like, you know where that little golf course is?
Yeah.
Yeah, right inside there.
Okay.
And all the way around, the whole park was just full of people.
Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know right across the street where they have what they call the Chino Fairgrounds?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh yeah, that was packed too.
Okay.
That was parking.
They once a year they run a old school demolition derbies there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Have you ever seen those? Yeah. Yeah. Those
go check that out.
I've gone once before. It's just fantastic times. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
What else did I do? The other thing was we've got our new headquarters in Chino Hills, and we ran the first mastermind. Oh, okay. There's a picture of it. There's Corey. This was a screenshot of a video I did. But we ran the first mastermind for Fit Body Boot Camp at our headquarters in Chino Hills, and this is a learning center where you and I have run implementation boot camps before and automation boot camps.
This was a lot more people at this, though. And how many people did you have? Were you able to fit in there?
We had 72 people in here, and I think we could have capped off at 75. And
nice.
I was curious what the top number would be. I think it's 75, so I'm really happy with the building and the learning center that we built out. But it was really fun to welcome a whole bunch of Fit Body owners over to Chino Hills and show them the building. Yeah, good times indeed.
Awesome. So next we're going to talk about is like some current events, not just in the last week, but even the last year. You know, a lot of things, you know, since me moving to Chino Hills as in other things, you know, I put Chino Hills really on the map. From being such a small town, it's really gotten a lot of press. You know, we had that lottery winner, we had Lonzo Ball, first of all, just yesterday. They had forced signed to the Lakers, which is
so it's
cool.
official now, right?
It is official.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be a Lakers fan, but I'll be a Lonzo fan for sure. I met him and his family at Starbucks just randomly, and they're really nice.
Yeah, really good fan. I know his dad gets a lot of bad rap, but I mean, from what I understand, because I met their neighbor. Well, I saw the three brothers at the 24-Hour Fitness working out, and then I was watching them, and the guy who was talking to them turns out was their neighbor. And I said, hey, you know, the dad's really getting a bad rap, huh? Like, what's going on? He goes, well, you know, he's really driven, and he apparently married the wife with the intention that we were going to produce athletes. Like, this was the intention.
Nice.
So
that's going to segue great into something later on.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, where he's concerned, I know he gets a bad rap, but to have that much foresight, where I'm going to produce 3 amazing athletes, and he has.
And he pretty much, you know, transformed Chino Hills high school basketball team to #1 in the country.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
exactly. Yeah, good for this guy.
Pretty cool. Awesome. And you know, for me moving all the way across the country to Chino Hills.
Yeah. Would you ever consider moving back to Baltimore?
I haven't even considered going back to Baltimore. I had a trip planned last year, and the night before I canceled my ticket.
That's right. I remember that.
I will be going back in August, and my younger brother is having a baby, so I kind of have to go.
Right.
I was thinking about flying him and his wife and his newborn.
That might be another
here.
option. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that, and then we had our first billionaire lottery winner. Mm-hmm. Do you know, like, I never play the lottery, but for some reason I was going to buy a ticket that night, and 7-Eleven had a line at the door. I went to the gas station across the street by Starbucks and bought my ticket. So now I'm like, oh, if I would have just stayed in line.
I wonder if that would have been you. That really happened?
That really happened.
That is nuts. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I think that's the attendant that sold it. His name was M, just the letter M, and. I know we don't have the picture for this, but those of you that came, everyone watching this, and you remember this, what year was that? Is that last year?
Last year. Yeah,
so,
Josh Carter kind of dressed up as him.
Yes.
Inadvertently.
So Fitness Business Summit 2016, Josh Carter decides that he's going to get a spray tan, and he's been sporting glasses recently, Well, the gentleman that sold the ticket is East Indian, and so he's got dark complexion and he wears glasses. And I kid you not, Josh looked identical to the guy that sold the lottery ticket there at 7-Eleven. And we all had a lot of great laughs at Josh's expense there. Yeah.
Awesome. And then one of the other big things in Chino Hills news is you buying this awesome brand new facility. This building was 11,000 square feet, 15,000 square feet?
15,000 square feet, yeah.
And just talk about it real quick. Tell us what the inspiration is, what all the different areas you got in there. You got libraries, you got kitchens, you got...
Yeah, we do. So the whole idea was, and you saw the old place that we were in, we had a 4,000 square foot building that was, we were paying rent to our landlord, who was a very angry, I must say, a very angry local divorce attorney. So I'm happy that I don't have a landlord anymore. But we bought this 15,000 square foot building to do two things. One, it was to grow our Fit Body Bootcamp headquarters the right way, because we had like 2 to 3 people per workstation in the last couple months as we were leaving the old headquarters. So the entire upstairs here is an open floor plan, and it's our team of 30 some odd team members are up there. This side here is our filming studio. So where my wife Diana had she had our video guys come to our house to film for like 3 or 4 days at a time, and so you can imagine lights and microphones and cameras. To film a cooking show for 3 days really intrudes your life. So we're building a replica of our kitchen in here on the front side of it, and on the back side of that room, on the filming studio, is going to be a scene where we can shoot more videos just like this. So different kind of backdrops and stand-up tables, sit-down stations, whatever, interview stations. A lot of great stuff that we're going to do. It's a sound studio as well in there. Beautiful lobby, elevator, and this is that learning center. That the picture that we showed earlier is right in here in the learning center. So it's a really cool way to grow into your brand. Yeah.
Awesome. And the other great thing is that you have your sign on the outside the building, going up and down the 71. I see it every day I go surfing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we got this sign on both sides of the. Here's a fun story for you about that on the building. I wanted the sign huge because, as you can see, there's all this room here, but apparently Chino Hills has rules and regulations for signage. And so I was trying to kind of see if I can maybe beat the system. And the sign on the other side of the building, I wanted twice the size, so just greater visibility. And the sign company ended up getting fined like $1,200 for knowingly submitting bigger signs to, I don't know if it was the city or to whoever, to somebody. And I ended up paying that $1,200 fine, obviously. But I was trying to see if I could get away with a bigger sign. So a great lesson there is always ask for forgiveness and not permission.
You were able to get the bigger sign. Did you pay for the fine, or the?
Yeah.
Did you have to pay for the fine, or did the company take it?
No, I paid for the fine because I thought it was the right thing to do. And then we had to get a smaller sign, which turns out you could see just fine after all.
So announced today, Tesla will be delivering the Model 3. They're rolling out a small amount, and then they said about 20,000 a month going forward, or 30,000 a month going forward. And Model 3 is like their affordable car. So everybody who wants to put an electric car into everybody's driveway. And I'm still not sold on the Tesla yet.
What would have to happen for you to get a Tesla?
The mileage, like I couldn't imagine having to stop on the way to Vegas to switch batteries or charge up for an hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes, whatever it is. Yeah. They look cool. They're fast. But
what if I told you that they have this thing that they're going to do where you literally pull in, within 10 minutes, the thing comes out, takes your battery, replaces a new one, and off you go. Would that change your mind?
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Right now, I don't stop at all going to
Now, what if I told you that they're going to make a battery that's going to give you 500 miles of drive distance?
That'll work, because that's about, you can't get that with gas. So.
And that's exactly what I'm looking forward to. So I think when Elon Musk can come up with a battery pack that can give us 500 miles, which he says is 2 years away.
If anybody can do it, he can. He's a big thinker, out-of-the-box thinker.
Yeah. Have you read his book?
I have, and his story is pretty amazing. From selling PayPal and then investing 100% of that, and living off his, sleeping on his friend's couch, to invest in Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing story.
It's Tesla, SpaceX, and he owns majority of the shares in Solar City.
Yeah.
Which is the tiles that work off the sun?
The solar panels.
Solar panel system. Yeah. Yeah, but what he wants to do with it, he's such a forward thinker. What he wants to do with it, because I don't want to get solar panels because I think they look tacky on a roof. And then he comes up with a thing where, hey, what if your actual tiles
Solar
were
shingles or whatever.
Right, solar shingles. Like, that's brilliant. So as soon as he comes out with that, I'm jumping on board.
And you'll be able to cover your entire roof rather than just the one, the one side.
Yeah.
And from that, and then also with his whole tunneling company that he has now, that's pretty insane.
I
He
saw the
wants
mock-up
to,
for the first elevator. Did you see
it's
that?
it's pretty cool. He wants to build underground railways for your car from city to city.
That would be huge. Apparently, it would take you something like a couple hours to go from here to LA to San Francisco, versus
Which is normally like 6 hours with no traffic.
Yeah,
And get there in an hour or two. That'd be great.
That'd be huge.
And as far as politics go, I don't really usually like to talk a lot about politics.
I'm all about
and
politics.
Our president is great to talk about these days. He had a quote last week. He said that he loves all people, rich or poor, but in certain or those particular positions, he just doesn't want a poor person. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think about that statement?
You know why? I think, but in those particular positions, I just don't want a poor person. When you just look at what he says on the surface, it's like, oh, it makes sense. You wouldn't want a dentist with bloody, pussy teeth working on your teeth. You wouldn't want a mechanic whose car would always break down or is leaking to work on your car. You don't want a fat, overweight trainer training you because your body should be a walking, talking billboard if you're in fitness space. Well, he makes a good point. The problem is that he puts out such stupid text messages or tweet messages, and I'm going to come out full disclosure. I voted for the man. I voted for the man because to me, it was vote for the person who does not believe in our military and doesn't want to fortify our military and let actual soldiers die. If you haven't seen that, watch the movie 13. Is it 13 hours?
Yeah.
13 hours. Or vote for him, who's going to run our country like a business. But I think someone at Twitter headquarters should find a switch and I imagine it's got to be like a light switch where you just turn it off. It says Trump, like there's a little taped name above it. You just turn off the Trump switch for the next 4 years and let him run the country without putting that kind of shit up there. But on top of that, London, let's see if you can figure out building some kind of a switch that can turn off Trump's tweeter twits. Yeah, tweeter twits. Yeah. But he does make a good point where, listen, I wouldn't want a poor person running my business, right? That's not decisions I want. But I want to make the designation that he is right where that's concerned, but there is a difference between poor and broke. And so people who are watching this might go like, well, what the hell is the difference between poor and broke? Like, he's been broke before. If you read any of Trump's books, you know that there was a time I believe it was the 90s, that he was in massive debt to three different banks.
Atlantic City was going under.
Yeah. Exactly. He was
pretty much bankrupt.
Yep. So poor is a state of mind. It's thinking that, hey, I'm blue collar and they're white collar, and poor is one of those things where, the rich have the money and I'll never have it. Poor is a state of mind. Broke is I might end up being broke if I make a bad decision or two. Elon Musk, who we were just talking about, got all this money from PayPal, but when the poop hit the fan, you read the book, he had to secretly go talk to Larry Page from Google to go, hey man, I'm running out of money, I'm broke temporarily, and if I need money to make payroll for Tesla, I'm gonna need to ask you to invest. And so the good news is you can fix broke, you can get out of being in a state of broke. It's really difficult to get out of that mental state of being poor. Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Awesome. So next we have a game that we're gonna play. And it's a problem solver game where I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation and you're going to solve it.
Okay.
And then you're going to give me one that I need to solve. So
right.
Do you want to go first or want me to go first?
You go first. Give me time to think.
So I give you the hypothetical situation?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so talking about poor and being broke, imagine you lost everything. All your money, all your real estate, all of your email lists, all of your employees, and all you have is the knowledge that you have, and the friends that you have. What would you do to build your empire back in the next 90 days?
Oh, good question. So if I had the friends that I have, I believe that anyone could accumulate wealth quickly, time collapse, by either having money or people. So if I've lost all the money, because with money you can buy speed, you can buy technology, you can hire the right staff, and instead of building the right staff, you can go hire staff that's already seasoned. So I would, if I had my friends, I would go to all my friends and go, hey, look, I still have my knowledge and wisdom, and you've got a list of whatever, personal trainers, you've got a list of thought leaders, you've got a list of real estate agents. And so what do you say? I create a course and a high-end coaching program. We move people right from the course into the high-end coaching program. I'll take 50%, you take 50%, but I'll do 100% of the work. And I would do that with 3 of my friends who have influence over a demographic, and within 60 days probably, I would be not to where I am, but I would be pretty...
On your way.
I dare say I'd be doing about 30, 40 grand a month within 60 days.
Nice.
If I had my friends and their network, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, your turn. So, you're writing a book.
This hypothetical.
Maybe. You're writing a book called Man Up. This is a hypothetical. And you have 2 weeks. All right, let's say you've got 3 weeks. Truly, you've got 3 weeks, 21 days to get about 55 to 65,000 word book to your publisher, right? You've never written a book. It has to be so witty, funny, full of stories, obviously education, so that it becomes a New York Times bestseller. You've gotten commitment from all those friends we just talked about that they're going to mail out for you. They're going to promote your book. So it has to be a solid book. How do you write your book quickly and get it to your publisher in 21 days? Go.
I would go to all your friends that have already written books that are funny, witty, smart. I'd go to Craig, I'd go to Tucker, go to Lewis, and take them out, go to the bar, get drunk, and talk about your book, and take notes, and have her come with you and take some notes, and try to make sense of it the next day and put it.
Okay. I think I did the next best thing, and I'm going to tell you what it is. I found this software called Dragon Dictate. Like, you've probably heard of it because you're very techie friendly.
It doesn't work for me because I talk fast and mumble, and it's like I can't read what it says afterwards. But I know I heard of it.
Yeah, and so you can see the red mic here, and so I literally, when I hit that mic and it turns green, I walk around my backyard like this, and it's the Word doc's typing, and I'm just talking. And it's recording. It's about 95, 96, maybe 97% accurate. And I've learned actually to speak clearly now, which is actually pretty interesting. Maybe just for shits and giggles, you might want to try that just to see if your speech pattern changes. But like I was telling you earlier, I'm more than halfway through with the book, thanks to Dragon Dictate. Now, I don't own any equity in the company, but if anyone wants to type fast and type clearly, that's the product to use. Yeah.
Nice.
All
right, so for your second one, imagine if social media goes away, it's not a good place to run your business or market your business or grow your business, and you still got to grow your business.
Sure.
What would you do?
Social media goes away.
Even though we know it's not, but hypothetically.
Right, hypothetically, in this hypothetical situation.
You can't go on Facebook, you can't go on Instagram.
Yeah. I would do what I'm doing now with the book, and what I'm doing is I commit to writing 4,000 words a day no matter what. Or speaking 4,000 words and then going back and fixing it. And so, except I would say I would commit to knocking on 1,000 doors a day, just straight up 1,000 doors. Now, I know 1,000 doors is possible because my brother's a real estate agent, and when I was a kid, he would take me with him and we would flyer all these homes, right? And you know how real estate agents have farms? Like his farm, his area had 800 and some odd homes, and we would do that in like 3.5 hours, dude. Like, we would knock it out. And so, true, we were flyering them, so I figure, all right, it'll take me, let's say, 10 to 12 hours, but I would knock on 1,000 doors a day, and whatever product, service, thing that I was selling, I bet you if I knocked on 1,000 doors a day, I'd easily close 15 to 20 a day. And so within a month...
What are you going to sell them going door to door? On Fit Body Bootcamp or on...
Well, if I was a personal trainer, I would sell them on my bootcamp.
You, like for you, like your business.
Oh, for me?
Yeah, like your empire, your Coolian.
Oh, got it. You know what I would do? I would just find 500 doors a day, but in affluent areas, and I would sell them consulting.
Nice.
I would just sell them business consulting. So I know that if it's a $3 or $4 million or $10 million house, you're either an entrepreneur or you work for an entrepreneur and you're pretty high up. And I'm going to come in there and time collapse for you and teach you how to make more money with less pain, frustration, and hassle. So I'm going to knock on 500 doors, and as soon as I get 10 clients for $50,000 a piece, I'm good.
Is that what you did before social media, or did you did more email marketing, right?
It was email marketing
and affiliate stuff.
Yeah. And I suppose
would that still work?
Oh yeah, email marketing. I just went to the worst case scenario here and just figured the whole internet is turned off. Like I figured you found the Trump switch, but it was connected to
everything. Whoops.
Connected to the internet. Yeah, and I think the whole world would agree. And I voted for Trump, but I think the whole world would agree that if we could find the switch to turn off the internet just so Trump doesn't tweet, that the whole world would be okay with that.
My whole point to asking it was everybody is such reliant on social media to grow their businesses that they forget all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So I was trying to just give people like some examples of what we used to do before, before Facebook.
Dude, you used to go around talking to how many people a day would you go talk to just to
Five
icebreaker?
a day.
Five a day.
I wouldn't go home until I got 5 names and numbers every single day.
Simple as that, like 5 names and numbers. And I've known you long enough where I know how introverted you are, and you are not like the most, and I know I'm not, extroverted person that's going to go, running over to someone to high five them and get their name and number. But when the desire to grow your business is big enough, you'll do whatever it takes. And now it's like, dude, you got email lists? Like, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. At the time, you guys had us reading the book, The Game.
The Game, yes.
So in there, they had some exercises that I actually did. And before I went up talking to everybody, I was just like, all right, I have to get 5 people's eye color. So I have to make eye contact, get their eye color, write it down.
Yeah.
And then I did that for like a week. And then the next week, every day I had to get, ask 5 people what time it is. Because that's easy. Excuse me, do you know what time it is?
Yeah.
And then the third week, I had to like ask like something about like the Ravens, or hey, well, how about those Orioles, or try to engage in some kind of conversation that's easy for people to talk to. So I go to like Barnes & Noble and try to do that, and then from there I was able to, start talking to people about boot camp or whatever. So.
And for those who didn't know that you even ran a boot camp back then, how many people, by the time you sold your Fit Body boot camp, how many clients did you have in it?
Close to 300, so
Close to 300
260.
clients. And it's not to say that you built it all that way. Obviously, you got really good at social media and online marketing. But you came into the business entrepreneurship at a time where the tides were shifting from offline to online. So we had to learn it. And now it almost seems like people who are just learning online marketing, they have to shift the other way. They have to learn actual communicating with people on the streets, local businesses, et cetera, because they don't know how.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so I got a fun one for you. A hypothetical. If you could only get one vehicle, one car for the rest of your life, and it has to serve you with driving your family on a vacation to, whatever, filling up groceries and all. One car the rest of your life, you could never have another car. What car would it be and why?
Range Rover.
A Range Rover. Okay, tell me why.
Because it's comfortable to go on vacations with and long road trips. If I need to throw a surfboard in the back, I can. It's fast. It's a luxury vehicle.
Well, you nailed it.
Pretty much covers everything.
Oh, you nailed it.
So for me, I would.
Any particular model?
I'll probably just get Range Rover Sport. I'm good with.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. All right. Well, you nailed it real quick. I thought that was going to be a long, drawn-out segment there. He fucked it all up. That was great. Decisive.
Well, this next one should be long and drawn out.
That's what she said. There. I've been watching a lot of Office, right? Steve Carell, and so we're hearing a lot of that's what she said around my house right now.
So the next one is like pros and cons, and for some reason you still have the iPhone Mini, I like to call it, which actually is it's the iPhone SE, which I didn't even know they had.
Right.
Carlo
turned me on to this. Yeah.
And so I just want to know why you haven't gone to at least the regular iPhone, let alone the Plus.
Right. So I'm gonna tell you. Well, what I said earlier before the cameras started rolling was, I don't have any. Listen, I'm just gonna talk about the phone. Right? I got the iPhone when they switched over to the 4 and the 5. I was really happy with the size, and then when they went to the 6 and 7, I was like, crap, man! I really want all the cool features yours has. Like when you're, all the videos and stuff you were shooting and pictures were clear. And then one day I was griping. Actually, I think it was a implementation boot camp that me and Carla were running. And Carla's like, dude, what's the matter with you? They've got an iPhone SE. And I said, well, what's an SE? And as it turns out, it's the iPhone 5 with the internals of a 6, which you have like a 7 or a 12.
Yeah, 7.
Right. Yeah. And so anyway.
7 Plus.
7 Plus. For me, though, it's the big thing is that I can just keep it in my pocket, and I don't feel it's in my way. It's easy for me to.
Have you had a big one in your pocket before to know if it would be in your way or not?
I've never had a big one in my pocket. Never had a big one in my hand. I've never had a big one in my pocket. No, I've only held the small one.
Nice.
My whole life.
Josh actually talked me into getting the 7 Plus. I always thought it was going to be too big until I got it.
And now you're happy with it.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
So,
I guess I'm happy. I'm satisfied with the small one, London.
but you have pretty big hands. And, when you go to text and type, how are you not like hitting 5 buttons at a time?
You're right. And so I do a little trick that goes something like this. Watch this. You're going to like this. Hey, Jeff, want to go get sushi after this? Question mark. Done. And so as long as I have Siri, I'm good. If they took away Siri, I'd probably upgrade to, there I am. I'd probably upgrade to the 7.
But look how it spelled my name. See?
Oh, Geoff, right? Dang it. Dang it. I just have to change it because there's a Jeff.
See, for me, again, since I talk fast and mumble, it would be like Chinese.
Right, and then I have to go learn Chinese. It's a big to-do. Yeah, so you
like
stick with the big phone.
Google Translate, and
Right, yeah, or I'd have to plug in that app, the Google Translate, to translate, and then it's like, is it Mandarin Chinese, or is it Cantonese Chinese? It's a real, yeah, it goes down a rabbit hole.
So the only reason you wouldn't get one of these is because of how big it would be in your pocket.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's just the size. Like I love compact shit. I travel a lot. I think I read this in some kind of a military book because a lot of the soldiers. Well, you're a soldier, Yeah, what is it? The rucksack that y'all carry?
Yep.
That ounces equals pounds and pounds equals pain. Dude, my knees are always aching, and so anything I can do to trim away weight from my gear when I travel 3 times a month, I do, and part of that is the iPhone.
Yeah, so for me, I'm working off my phone like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So this bigger screen makes it easier to get more
That
done.
makes sense.
And for the 1% of the time where I'm like, have it in my pocket.
Wait, you can really fit that in your pocket comfortably and like drive?
Well, I have it out when I'm driving.
Yeah, okay. I might have to switch at some point.
Do you drive with yours in your pocket?
Well, I drive with mine on the actual clip, so I can make videos and sell shit. But yeah, sometimes it's in my pocket. Like on long drives, I put it. I actually truly on long drives, like especially when I'm with the family, I'll risk my life. By the way, when I'm shooting those videos in the car, I'm like in a controlled environment, like in the parking lot, at the HQ or something.
Drive around in circles. So
Right. I keep seeing that building behind them. But truly, when the temptation, right, of like replying to a text is so great, or checking a notification, or let me just see if that email came through, that when I'm with the family on a long trip, I just put it on silent and I slip it in my pocket, so I don't even have that temptation of reaching for it. And to me, it works every time. I just don't know if I could do that with the big phone, but I might convert one day. Never.
Cool thing is they have the Apple CarPlay now, so it connects to the dash, and it'll read off all your text to you, and then you just voice right back to it.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
Wait, mine won't do that?
If you have Apple CarPlay.
Is that an app or is that part of the feature?
It's part of it. It'd be in the car.
Oh. All right. I feel like a loser right now. London, give me some whiskey.
If you had the 7 Plus, you'd be able to do that. No, just kidding.
Upgrade your car.
Yeah. We should upgrade. I need to upgrade my car. Yeah. Coffee and cocaine.
I'll trade you mine for yours if you want the CarPlay.
Yeah, your new one has the CarPlay, right?
Yeah.
Have you used it though?
Yeah.
And you like it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Emily loves it because she sees when all the texts come in. She's like, "What did Chanta say?"
Oh, that's great.
His are pretty funny all the time.
Yeah. You might also block what Chanta's saying. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like an image, it'll describe the image. So you gotta
really?
You gotta be careful when you guys text.
So it'll like say eggplant.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. Because Chanta, our friend Chanta, right.
So yesterday I was on the Facebook and just scrolling through, and I just saw a random person's comment, and they had like a ton of engagement underneath, and it was about this simple question. I didn't think that people felt so strongly about this, but as you can see, he said, "I can promise you that we put in more time and effort and emotion into our decision not to have children than most people put into their decision to have them." Well, underneath, and there was another thread that he got blasted on, I guess, that he put this one on his personal page, but people were telling him how he's selfish, and how what about the people that can't have kids and you're like taking it for granted? Like they're like laying into him. So my whole thing is like, what do you think are the pros to having kids, not having kids? And for me, like I'm one kid, I'm one and done, I'm great. I don't have to feel guilty because she will never have the experience of having a brother or sister or that relationship. But then I see how independent she is and how easily she makes friends. that doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna have so many friends. Truly, like, I don't have an opinion one way. I think people can just make whatever decision they want. The pros, I think, are, you know, I've got friends that they're married couples who don't have kids, and when I get a text like, "Hey, dude, can you guys go to this concert?" It's like, no, man. If you told me a couple days ago, we could have gotten our babysitter to come in and watch the kids. So maybe that's a pro, like more spontaneous things, right? Just as a couple.
Travel or
travel where that's
concerts.
concerned. Yeah. But then again, my kids travel well. What I love about having kids, and I would never not have kids, me personally, is that it feels like I've got built-in best friends, and I don't want to take this down a somber road, but years ago I used to listen to Dr. Laura because I was a mess of a young man in my 20s and was a troublemaker. And the Dr. Laura show, she was a psychologist, right? And she would she said something. She goes, "You'll have two chances as a parent and child relationship. Once when you're the child, once when you're the parent." And I was like, "Oh, that's fantastic." So when I become a parent, you know, I'm going to do this and this and this and this with my kids. And so I was always looking forward to that. And so that's the opportunity that I had, and I'm able to raise little entrepreneurs, and they give a crap about society and blah, blah, blah. And of course, when I get old, I want someone to take care of me. That's honestly like, hey, you know what?
See, if you put that in a thread, some people would say that's a selfish reason.
Hey, call it selfish. I'm selfish, you know. But I
Yeah,
also
I feel
want
the
like
same
little
way.
babies from my babies to love up when I'm old, because I won't be able to hold them when they're 40.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I
sure.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like it was like if I'm gonna have kids, I need to do it now, because one of those things that if you wait and then realize that you wanted to, or you have some regrets, it's a little too late.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can handle one.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, it's been great. It just keeps getting better.
You know what trips me out though? Like, what is up with the people who get so angry about it one way or another? Like, what kind of emotional baggage are they bringing into that Facebook social media post that won't be there in 2 weeks? You know, that no one's even going to think about. Like, what's up with them? But anyway, I guess everyone's got.
But yeah, it was funny because like the one guy in here, he left a comment how he has like 8 or 9 kids, and people always give him a problem, you know, for having more than the social norm, more than the 2,
Yeah.
you know, or the 3.
Well,
you
Dan
know,
and Cody.
you know.
Yeah, they
And,
each have a lot of kids. Yeah.
So it just goes back to like social norms. Like it's not normal to, you know, everybody gets married, has kids, at least 2,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, it was interesting.
I was just gonna say live and let live, and someone's like, live and let live, brother.
But I also don't think that everybody should be procreating.
Amen to that. That I can agree with. That I can take a hard position on.
So like, what do you
Yeah.
think ways that you could like a test they have to take? They got to have good credit score, or like mental health, or like what, like.
All of the above, honestly, and they said recently, and see, this is where we start getting like Big Brother-like in that book, Fahrenheit 187 or Fahrenheit 182, whatever that book was, where like if you had books in your house, there were firefighters, but their job was to come and set the books on fire, right? Because you know the government had made reading books and getting wisdom and knowledge illegal. But I don't know, man. I think it'd be great if people who were just, I don't want to be a Trump right now, so I'm going to measure my words. It would be great if people who were not going to take care of their kids and were going to make their kids a burden on society, if somehow they had this magical aha that came to them and they go, you know, I don't think I want to have kids. It doesn't have to be, they don't even have to be conscious enough to go like, because I'm going to raise, you know, socially misbehaved kids.
Yeah.
I would just want them to go, you know, I'm not going to have kids. It'd be cool if we can somehow test them and then figure it out, but then we start getting like Big Brother-ish, right? Like, oh my God, I imagine, you know, Hitler was thinking down that line.
Like Chinese, because in China, you know, the government puts people together to create super athletes.
Yeah.
Narrow hips for like divers because it makes less splash, or like the basketball player Yao Ming. You know, he was bred from the government to be a super athlete.
Shit, what did my parents think when they were having sex? No one even thought anything through on this one, Tori. Seriously, I got like wide hips, so I always got to work shoulders and back more just to like
look normal.
Yeah. I'm like what's the opposite of a super athlete? I'm the reverse athlete. But anyway, I have.
Best average.
Yeah, I'm the best average there is. Yeah, thank you, London. You're fired. Yeah, I love that.
Well, awesome. Well, if you're thinking about having kids, you should only, you know, pick a partner that's going to be, you know, give you that super athlete, or you know, at least have some unicorns. Which unicorns keeps coming back up.
I do love
you know,
unicorns.
in every time we have, you know, one of these shows, it's like the most trending animal lately, and We have one here.
Whoa, my man
And
Ian.
This is a unicorn sighting of the week. We've been having a lot of shark sightings in Southern California. So we're going to be doing our unicorn sightings. So our first unicorn is Ian. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes Ian a unicorn?
Yeah, so I met Ian maybe, 2011, 2012 at Fitness Business Summit. And he joined my 7-figure formula mastermind then. And this dude, it seems like I won't say every mastermind meeting because that's like every 90 days, but every other mastermind meeting, he's got another another Ian Fitness open. His brand is called Ian Fitness. Truthfully, I tried getting him long ago to convert to a Fit Body Bootcamp, and he's like, dude, I'm cool with my own brand. I said, fantastic, I'll help you grow your own brand. So he's got 8 or 9 Ian Fitnesses now. What I love about him, that smile on his face, that's not just for the, you know him well enough. That is 24/7. Like, he's always happy, optimistic, willing to help people, his peers or friends or clients. He's now a coach in my 7-figure mastermind, just like you are. And he's now coaching up and coming trainers. But the dude is probably the most humble, giving guy, where he could be very braggadocious and beating his chest because of the money he makes and the number of locations that he has. And so I think he's a perfect fit for the unicorn sighting of the week.
Yeah, I mean, he's super high energy, always positive. The smile is always there, like you said. He's got the whole balancing of the lifestyle business down. You know, he's had a newborn and still has a smile on his face.
Yeah. Just a small cocaine habit, but he's working on it.
He even had his newborn in Vegas, yeah,
yeah, that's right.
Didn't skip a beat. So, Ian, you are one of the 2 unicorns of the week. We have one more.
Yes.
And,
who's our other one?
We are getting some really cool shirts made to send you guys. You can't buy them. You can only earn them by being a unicorn of the week. And next up is Renee. So tell us what makes Renee, a unicorn.
Yeah, well, Renee is something very special. I really love him because here's someone who started in the fitness industry from a tiny little, it was either a room or it was like half of Dad's garage. And Renee's dad is so supportive. He's a dentist. And he came out to the first mastermind with her because I think he was maybe a little sketchy about, like, hey, you're paying this guy all this money and he's big, hairy, and ugly. Are you sure you should be doing that? But anyway, Renee gets so much support from his dad, and today is one of our top Fit Body Bootcamp owners. What I really love about Renee is that, again, humble, giving, pays it forward, always smiling, and most of all, his clients now, if you haven't figured out yet, she is going through transition into he, and we all support her for that. And that's, imagine having to go through that. So most people's like, man, I have business problems, I have marketing problems. Try going through a transition where the rest of the world thinks you're fucking nuts, right?
Yep.
And grow a business that's successful, that your clients love you, that your community loves you, and always be happy and optimistic. That's Renee. And if that's not a unicorn sighting, brother, I don't know what is. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to Renee and Ian for being our unicorns of the week.
Are we sending them something, you said?
We're getting some
Cocaine?
really cool T-shirts designed.
T-shirts.
Cocaine is like in the middle of these.
Right. We're using the shirts as a mule to mule the cocaine. Yeah.
But they are being designed as we speak. So as soon as the design comes out, we'll show it to everyone and we'll ship them to you.
And by the way, I saw you showed me that preview of what the design is going to morph into. Man, it is going to be a dope ass shirt. I'm a size extra large.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
2XLs.
Yeah.
Not 2XL, but XL.
Right. I don't want it too loose because I got to show all this off. So wash it in hot water before you bring it to me.
Okay, I'll make sure it's like fit body type.
You're the best.
Awesome. Well, that is all we have for our show this week. You have anything you want to leave people with going into the rest of the week? How to dominate the rest of their week?
Yeah, man. So I'll tell you this. It's a little message from Craig Ballantyne, our friend Craig Ballantyne, and he says, when you dominate your morning, you dominate your Monday. You dominate your Monday, which is today. You dominate the rest of your week. Thanks for joining.
Awesome. See you guys later.